community left heartbroken. We now know the names of the 5 people killed in last week's devastating flooding in Alexander County. Floodwaters rose quickly at the Hidden campground, carrying away campers and cars. The victims range from 1-year-old baby boy ripped from his family's arms to a 76-year-old man who neighbors tell Fox 46 had just moved to the campground a few months ago.
Nearly 3 dozen people have been forced from their homes as this cleanup continues. Fox 46's Ryan Kruger is live in Alexander County speaking with friends and loved ones of those victims. And Ryan, you learned 2 of the victims were actually a mother and her son.
Yeah, and one of the neighbors told me that son was, she described him as being just the kindest young man you had ever met in your entire life. In fact, the 18-year-old was his mother's full-time caretaker. These are the names that were released today by the sheriff's office. Crystal Reed, along with her 18-year-old son Ty, along with Tina Allen. They were the ones, their bodies were discovered on Thursday, soon after the flooding. And then on Friday is when authorities discovered the bodies of 76-year-old Ron Wintemute, along with that 1-year-old baby whose name is Mason Flowers. And this is where the story truly gets horrific. Neighbors are telling me that it was Mason's grandfather who was holding on tight to him for dear life when those floodwaters were coming, but the raging rapids were simply too much, and the water ripped the 1-year-old baby out of his grandfather's grasp. I also spoke with a good friend of Ron Wintemute, and she tells me that Wintemute had just moved down from Pennsylvania because he has a daughter who lives not far from here, and he wanted to be near her.
First thing that went through my mind was like, oh my God, you know, not Ron, you know, he can't be, this can't be happening.
And Ron Wintemute was a sailor in the Navy for several years. I'm also told he was a firefighter and an EMT. Now, many of the victims actually did live down here year-round. This was their permanent home. And one neighbor who came down to visit, she told me that everybody was like family down here. So it is a huge family that is in mourning tonight. We are live tonight in Alexander County. Ryan Kruger, Fox 46.